GN based builders, welcome back to another video with me, Astromartian. And in today's video, we get to build a clone version of Buy Me Coffee. Let's put this project on chain, and we'll call our project today Buy Me Matcha. I love matcha, so why don't we I love me some matcha. All right, so super cool, energetic, greeny, lime, hummy matchas, a fine ground powder made from special cultivated shade green tea leaves, known for its vibrant green color. So a colleague of mine always brings me matcha by the office, so I was thinking and a lot of creative friends of mine using Web2 systems use Buy Me Coffee in order for them to get tips on their creativity and all this. So we have this project called Buy Me Coffee, and you could find buymecoffee.com. But we want to build a twist and model and improve of this project. We'll keep it simple just for the sake of this tutorial, and our project is going to be called Buy Me Matcha. All right. So once you're ready, here are the prerequisites. So you're going to need yourself a Coinbase developer account. You're also going to need a text editor. So a text editor is basically something that you could put code in, but we won't be coding in this video. We vibe coding all throughout. So get your headsets, get your laptop, get your notepad. If you're taking coffee, if you're taking tea, have that ready with you, and let's get started in today's video. All right, awesome. So what you're gonna need to do is you're gonna need to prepare yourself your text editor. I'm using Visual Studio Code. In my recent videos, I have tried using Tray. I have used different varieties of different varieties of text editors, IDEs, or anything that you could write pieces of code in. And you could try. Feel free to try anything from Sublime, Atom, Brackets. But as long as there's an AI model in it, please feel free to make sure that you're trying yourself out. You're trying it out, and whatever works best for you, please just keep building. All right, so whatever works best for you, please keep building. So when we look at text editors like Cursor, and we look at engine builders, or what do you mean, app builders, or there's editors with LLMs in them. What I mean by LLMs, I mean like these large language models, these AI agents in them, is that they all have a certain unique look to them, but they are all forked projects from Visual Studio. So whatever you see on the screen is quite similar. You would always have the Explorer page here, the File Explorer page, and where you could create your folder, clone repository, and all those things right here. Then at the other side, you would always have your chat bot. You always have your agent here, and it could be in agent mode, your ask mode, or edit mode. You would always have something like this. So this is like a standard. It's like a standard feature to all of them. So for other people that have been building, nothing new here. And if you're just joining us for the first time, welcome to the Astromartian channel. In this channel, I get to teach you Web3 based builds and how to create your very own mini apps and take them on TBA, being the base app. I also show you how to create forecaster applications, forecaster mini apps to be specific, and you get to build for the Web3, the future. And what's best to do than not build for the future? Like Jeff Bezos always says, you want to survive, you have to lean towards the future. All right, so let's get started, and I'm using Visual Studio Code like I said. So if you have Visual Studio, please follow along. I'm gonna keep the project in the desktop, and I'm gonna call it Friday Project. All right, so Friday Project, you could name it whatever you want to name it. Please keep it professional. If you really want to take it on a production level, make sure that you name it on a professional title name. And for the sake of this video, I'm just calling it Friday Project. All right, so once we have it there, well, we click there. All right, so my folder is there, Friday Project. So then, while we're preparing ourselves, I need people to understand exactly what mini apps are, and what mission the mini apps have, and what mini apps really are. So mini apps are lightweight web applications. So these are simple web applications. So if you're a web designer, web developer, mini apps should be a very familiar way of building stuff, because you get the websites, you get your web pages, you get all this stuff, and what you're doing is just putting them in a frame and giving it a native application look. And there are standards for making your mini app stand out, and certain prerequisites and information the mini app needs to have in order for it to stand out. And all this can be found in the base documentation at base.org/docs. So you could find that in the base documentation. All right, with that being said, let's get started. So what you're going to need to do is visit the base.org. So once you're at base.org, you're just going to see base build. All right. So in today's video, it's a special video. Why am I saying it's a special video? Because what we're going to do is we're going to put the base pay feature. And what the base pay feature does is very exciting. It's the fastest way to pay with USDC. And what is USDC? This is like the US dollar, the United States US dollar. And it's a stable coin. What I mean by stable coin is that this is sorry, this is a currency that is backed by the US dollar. This is a cryptocurrency backed up by the US dollar. It's a stable coin backed up by the US dollar. So why are we using base to do this? Because the transaction is free, you don't get charged. I quickly have my money without any middleman, like without anybody involved. I quickly have what belongs to me for my services, my value, and nobody gets to interfere with that transaction. And we're gonna have this transaction in our buy me marcher application. All right. So we're gonna say, yeah, we need to accept. You could go on and see other features on what the base pay could do for you, and you could add your cards. You could create a commerce app with it. And in today's video, we're going to do the buy me matcha version of this, of the buy me coffee. All right, so here we go. So we're going to accept payments, and this is a full documentation on how all this works and how all this is applied. Okay. So what else do you need to have? What else do you need to note down? Okay, so what we're going to need to do is set up the environment. What I mean by set up the environment, we prepare our project for the main mini app. So open up your terminal. You could go here if you don't see your terminal. There's a shortcut for that, and that's the Control Shift if you're using a PC. All right, I'm just going to close the chat for now. And what you're going to need to do here is that you're going to need to prepare yourself the mini apps. So you come on the mini app. So you want to install the MiniKit SDK. You're going to say new apps. This category here on quick start, right? You're going to say install. What you're going to need to do is get this command, this magic keyword here, copy it, and you're going to go back to Visual Studio, just paste that. Do not worry what it does, just understand that this is a package manager, and it's packaging and creating your Onchain Mini. It's creating your mini app. All right, so just click enter. Once you have that, please quickly understand that you need to have Node installed. You need to have Node installed. If you haven't yet, please watch my previous videos on how you could have Node installed. And if you're faced with some errors, please feel free to leave a comment below this video or reach out to me on X at NSSalak. I am open to help anybody that reaches out. And like I said, shout out to Bird NFT at Bird NFT for reaching out on X and requesting for an updated video on how to create mini apps. And I hope this video is super helpful and viable to any builder watching this. Please share it with your friends and leave a like and subscribe to the channel. All right, so what you're going to need to call it is, we're going to call it the project I'm talking about. So that's buy me matcha, buy me, or we call it buy me a matcha or buy me matcha. I'll say, okay, buy me a matcha. Okay, like I said, you're going to need a Coinbase developer account. It's optional if you don't have one, but I highly recommend that if you're going to take this to production, you will need one. So you create your account. I already have my account set up, but once you create your account, you give it a project name, and you go to API keys, and you could use like a client API key. You can't use mine. I highly recommend that you generally just use your own API key. It's given to you free of charge. And there, I'm going to paste my API key, and it doesn't really take any sensitive data or anything transactional like funds from whatever the mini app does. So relax. Okay, so we just put it, share there. Enormous data. I usually love to share my data with the with the MiniKit SDK so that more improvements are made, right? So here we go. So what we do is we say cd, we just say cd, that's change directory. So what you say is cd. Kindly take note that you could do this in your chatbot, but I usually find my best practice to start my environment manually. Then I do the idea phase and build up the idea phase with the chatbot, and I'm conversating with specific features and changes that I want. But when it comes to setting up the environment, I prefer doing it manually. But if you like to do it with the chatbot, please go ahead and do it. Do not be constrained. Please go ahead and do it. So cd buy me a matcha. Once you do that, you could see that the directory has changed. We were in Friday project, but now we're in Buy Me a Matcha. Where did the Buy Me a Matcha came from? It came from on top. When I created this, I named my project here. So we put in this command right there. That command lets you build up the mini kit. So it allows you to call all dependencies, all packages you will need in order to create your mini app. All right. So once you see this green symbolic saying mini kit powered by Onchain Kit, it means your mini app is ready and it has enough packages in order for you to use or deploy it. So it comes with amazing things. What do I mean by these packages? It comes with amazing things like frameworks like WAGMI, it comes with React, it comes with Next.js, it comes with Tailwind CSS, ESLint, and Redis. So all these are amazing things. WAGMI allows you to connect wallets and connect people. Your users could log in with they need to connect their wallet in order to use your app or to compete with if it's a mini game and all that. And React is an amazing JavaScript library that that allows you to create front end amazing designs and all that. Next.js is an amazing framework from JavaScript, and it also makes it's also what currently is running with the mini app. So if you have a Next.js project, it's easier to convert it to be a mini app. So if Next.js really is top notch, if you want to convert it to a mini app, if you have an existing Next.js application, as I'm speaking right now, that application can be a mini app. All right. So Tailwind CSS is all about the design, and Tailwind CSS is cascading style shit. It's a CSS library, and it's super amazing too. ESLint is also super amazing. Redis allows you to keep it allows you to do notifications. It allows you to keep data. It's a temporal database, and it allows you to keep this information or storage. A username could be an example, login passwords and all those things, or a picture uploaded, or certain details shared if you're building a social app and all those things. So with your support, with you subscribing, I look forward to making tutorials based on these frameworks and how the mini app works according to these frameworks. And yes, so all you have to do is subscribe, share the video. If you're generous enough, or you think this is an amazing job I'm doing, please send me a tip at astromartian.base.eth. I look forward to making more connections happen with you, base builder. So let's keep building. Stay based. All right. So we continue with what we're doing. So what's the next step? We've cd'd into the Buy Me Matcha, and the Buy Me Matcha file is ready. So you could see all this boilerplate code and all this ready. Okay. So you don't really have to focus on what's really happening here or how something is structured. All I need you to pay attention to is that you should just observe how the structure is. So you'd always have an app folder directory first, and this is how Next.js projects look like, and this is easier to work with. And if here you'd find that the forecaster.json file, if you've watched my previous videos, is a very important. I'm just going to drop down my menu, and we're already having some issues. But anyways, this is just dependencies, downloads, and TypeScripts and everything. We just need to we'll have that fixed. Don't worry. All right, so um, in the routes the TypeScript dot ts you have different varieties, and right here why this the forecast.json is important is because Base has released what's called the Base Build dashboard, and it allows you to connect and deploy your mini app straight to the Base platform, with giving you privileges such as analytics, seeing the statistics of your users, and any really necessary data that will allow you to grow your app, that will allow you to grow your mini app. So please check the base build dashboard by visiting base.org/app /Dave. I'll leave a link in the description down below, and you would find ways on how to grow your app, how to grow your mini app, and how to improve it. All right, so we go back to our build. Okay, so what I'm going to do next is that I'm gonna go back to the base pay. Then I'm going to this is where my base pay is, isn't it? All right, nope. Okay, we're just gonna click it one more time again. So just accept base pay. This year, the base documentation is super impressive and super amazing. If you're a vibe coder, the base documentation is like your key to everything. So you could see that in every page you visit on the base documentation, there's always gonna be a copy page. There's always gonna be a copy page, and there's always gonna be a copy page again. So what you see here is that if you drop this down, you see that if you're using ChatGPT, you could actually copy all these instructions and take it to your chat, or if you're using Claude, you could copy all this and take it to your Claude. What I like to do, here's a tip. So I like to copy this page, right? So I'm saying accept payments, and it has to read all this, and my LLM has to understand this. My AI chatbot has to understand this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go here, and what I love to do is I'm going to put up a markdown file, and I'm going to call it base pay. Okay, so I'm just gonna call it base pay. It could be anything according to the idea and what you're building, or if it's a game you're building, you're usually gonna need to create what's called a game design document, a game developer design document, or game design document. That's a GDD, and what you're gonna need to do is like put all your ideas in that markdown file. You're just gonna need to say .md so that the chat would understand that this is a markdown file, and the markdown file usually has instructions to follow, and it's like a good format to give your bots to follow. All right, so once I dropped that in, I dropped everything I copied from. I copied from the accept payments, from the base accept payments file folder here, from the page, I mean. So I just copied all this and made sure that I just take it that side. And one other thing I could like to copy too is the guidelines. Like there's a standard guidelines when you're dealing with base, so that your app comes out to the requirements they're looking for. So usually when you go down is a please follow these base guidelines. And base is full of guidelines because they want your app to be top notch. They also want you to keep a design focused feature. You know, the standards on how you want to design your mini app, and please take caution that you really have to be top notch and use the right colors, and know how to place the buttons and how to place the base logo whenever you're involved in any of the designs. So what I'm going to do is just do the same here, and I'm just going to create another file, and I'm going to call it base guidelines. Okay, base pay button guidelines. All right, that's what I'm going to call it. I forgot to put MD there, so I'm just going to rename it and say MD again. It's a markdown file. Then I'm going to paste sorry, I'm going to just remove that. All right, okay. I'm going back here to base pay, then I'm gonna paste that there. Okay, close the terminal for now. So I just pasted the entire guideline page just within the base pay button guideline.md, and I pasted the base pay.md right here. Okay, so what is the next thing you're gonna need to do is open up your chat. Okay, next thing is that you need to tell your chat what you really want to. So usually for me, on my point of view, I like to tell it I copy this so that it understands what I'm dealing with, and I go back to it, and I'm just gonna say this. I want to build a mini app that allows me that allows users to pay me $1 to my wallet using the existing frameworks, design and develop this mini app. Okay, then I'm going to learn what buy me a coffee is I want something similar to that. Follow these guidelines and instructions for the base pay feature on my mini app, or we could say feature in my mini app. Okay, all right, then I'm going to get this, put it there, it's right there, and I'm going to get this, put it there, and it's right there. Okay, make sure that you're being specific as possible. You're just trying to be specific, and more tips on how to vibe code, and here is what you get for watching this video. So here's an amazing article from Jack Dorsey, one of my mentors in the technological cyberspace, and it's this, and it's vibe coding tips. Okay, so vibe coding tips by Jack Dorsey. Please kindly check it out, I beg of you. All right, so it's on the block.xyz website, and if you look at it, it's a short article. So vibe coding with Jack Dorsey, please kindly check it out. And it has all the instructions on how to vibe code, how to talk to AI, how to iterate, how to test, how to develop, how to think beyond the traditional coding. You understand what I mean? So the security aspects of it, the quality still matters, and all that. So check out the blog. Link will be in the description down below. Please share this video, leave a subscribe, leave just like click on that subscription button. You don't even need to leave. Go watch more videos. I have made more videos, so go check out the playlist. All right, so let's get back to Visual Studio Code. All right, so once we have that done, base pay feature in my mini app. All right, um, just making sure that everything's good. Okay. Then here we go. Okay, so let's see what it has for us. And all right. So let it cook. By the way, I'm using GPT-5 preview version, and for those that are asking, because usually in the vibe coding community, people are using Kimi, people are using Grok and Claude. So usually in my previous videos, you're gonna find me using a lot of Claude. I do love Claude, but I'm giving GPT-5 a chance. So fingers crossed that we get something done with it today. Okay, so I will read the next.js app files. All right, then it says, see the current project setup dependencies, so I can add small buy me matcha page and base pay integration expected outcome, determine file to edit, and any dependencies to add to the package.json. And all right, okay, so we're on the right track. Why? I will open a key app file to understand the current UI and where to add a buy me matcha page and base integration. What I will read, and all right, okay, I'm going to add a front end by page, a small saver API to check the payment status, a paymaster configuration and update dependencies. Okay, a base pay to charge $1 backend route. Okay, and it's going to also have apply code changes to the package.json. Done that, it's added two changes there. These are the two changes we're seeing here. Okay, and now I will add the by page UI to the, okay, so it's changing the by page on the page.ts. It's right here. Okay, so that's the, it's changing that. Then it's going to install npm once more again, so that all the dependencies it's changed are installed, so that we could stop seeing all these errors on the page. Okay, so I'm just gonna say continue. It brings up my terminal. Now it's installing all the dependencies that it's included in the package.json. So the package.json just handles whatever dependencies are being used in the project, like lists them out, packages that are being used. All right, I hope it notices that the npm refused to run. All right, I will remove the UI dependencies of package and update by page. Okay, so it's still cooking. Okay, so when you're vibe coding, by the way, you could still copy this error and paste it in there and just tell it kindly understand on why this error happened and what are the best practices you could fix this with, and that will usually clear up the errors. I talking about debugging. I do have plenty of videos live of me debugging, and I would literally love to share them. So if this video gets 100 views, I will drop the debugging video on how I debug my applications. So let's get this video to 100 views, and I will drop that request. I will drop that request. All right, so let's just wait for npm to install, and I'm sure we will have these problems all gone. And stay tuned. All right, awesome. So it's done, and we have zero vulnerabilities. And if you look at the errors, the problem we only have six. So this is still fixable. Just JSON errors and all that. Okay, so we're gonna fix this. All right, so we're just coming from the file called page.tsx and payments.ts and config. And also talking about payments, you really have to make sure you have your wallet address set. And so usually for me, how I like grab my wallet address would be I usually just go to the Basebit dashboard and my address on the import, then my address would always be this. So this is my wallet address. So I could use that. So if you want to send me something, you could pause the video and just use that address there, and make sure you're on the base network. All right. Okay. So getting back to the development, we have some options here. It's given us, and it says build check errors. So because I'm sure it knows that there's some errors. So I'm just gonna say continue.